Hi, my name is Helen. Thank you so much for being here. I have a dancing warrior vinyasa flow for you to have some fun with. This is a really lovely, strengthening, stretching, invigorating, quick flow that I think is a lot of fun. So let's jump straight in. All right, so let's begin in a comfortable cross-legged position. Hands on your knees, sitting up on a cushion or a blanket or anything that makes this more comfortable for you. If you have blocks or straps, I recommend having those nearby as well. So settling in onto your mat, stacking your shoulders over your hips and feel your abdominals kind of engage as if to catch you. It might feel like you're leaning back a little bit there. Resting your hands gently on the tops of your knees, softly closing your eyes, and imagine with every inhale, the crown of your head is growing taller towards the ceiling. And with every exhale, you're finding softness, release. And just giving yourself a moment to focus on your breath, to arrive on your mats. You've done the hard part, you've physically shown up, you're here, but just give yourself a moment to arrive emotionally, to check in with yourself energetically. And just see where you're at today. And taking a big inhale through your nose. Exhale, sigh it out. Lifting up your hands and just rotating your wrists in one direction. My wrists are very, very crackly. And changing direction. And imagine that you're pushing your hands through some kind of thick substance like honey. There's a resistance there, and just really exploring the full articulation of the joints. I'm going to shake it up. On an inhale, reaching your arms up alongside your ears. Exhale, coming over to the right. Just enjoying this lateral stretch, stretching both sides of the body. So we haven't just tipped over to the right here, really root down through that left knee and that left sits bone. Elbow does not need to be down. You can also bring the ground to you if you want to, if that's more comfortable, use a block. On an inhale, coming all the way up through to the center, really get some length through the middle, and let your exhale bring you over to the left. So again, same deal. I haven't just tipped over here. Really find that length, particularly on the left side. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Inhale, coming up through to the center, and this time exhale the arms down. Inhale, float your shoulders up towards your ears. Exhale, melt them back and down. One more of those. Inhale. And exhale, melt them back and down. So making your way into a tabletop position. So just making sure your wrists are underneath your shoulders, your knees are underneath your hips. And just taking, honestly, any movement here that feels good. You might want to cat-cow. You might want to barrel roll the chest in one direction and in the other. You may want to look over your shoulder, check out your tail, get more side stretches. Anything that feels good. Maybe toes want to tuck under, bring your hips to your heels. Anything that feels nice. Kind of use this time here diagnostically, like checking in with yourself. How's your body feeling? How's the movement feeling? What's your body asking for? What does it want? Nice. And coming back to a neutral tabletop position, spread your fingers as wide as they can go. Find a micro bend in your elbows as if you're showing your elbow pits to each other. Navel's in, tuck toes under, float the knees about 1 inch off of the floor. Imagine you're trying to push the floor away from your face, starting to activate into your muscles, your breathing, deep, even breaths. Big inhale. Exhale, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. So maybe taking some movement here, maybe it feels nice to maybe pedal into your feet, maybe dip your hips, nod your head, your shoulders. If you're tighter in your hamstrings, separate your feet wider towards the long edges of your mat. Wherever you've put your feet, have them no less than hips width distance apart. Nice. You're bringing your gaze in between your hands and soften your knees Then just walk the feet all the way up, teeny tiny steps. Imagine you're Freddie Flintstone, all the way up to the top of the mat. Feet are hips width distance apart. You can measure this by your 2 fists should fit perfectly in between your feet. That's your individualized measurement. On an inhale, half lift, Ardha Uttanasana. So keeping your hands in contact with something, whether it's the floor, your shins, your thighs, it doesn't really matter. Just imagining that you're closing that energy circuit again. You're keeping connection with something. Kneecaps are drawing up the quads. Your back is flat. So hands are wherever they need to be to have a flat back. Honestly, the lower your hands are is just usually an indication of how lanky you are. Nothing else. Exhale, fold forwards. Draw the crown of your head towards the floor. Inhale all the way up to the top. Bringing your arms up over the top of your head. Bring your gaze to your thumbs as you press your palms together. Shoulders are soft. Hands through to your heart center, Samastiti. Tadasana, mountain pose. Bringing your arms alongside your body. Fingers are activated. Pelvis tucked under, drawing the tailbone down. Knees up the quads. Feet engaged. Lifting up through your inner arches. Chin parallel to the floor, gazes forwards. You are activated. You are breathing. You're ready. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Back is flat. Arms can come out through the side. If there's any lower back stuff going on, bring your hands through to the center. It's just a bit nicer on the lower back. Inhale, half lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Again, keeping that hand connection with something. Exhale, firm the hands on the floor. Step the feet back to plank pose. Big inhale here. Exhale, gently lowering your knees. Keep your back flat. Lower your chest and your chin. Untuck the toes. Inhale, sliver the heart forwards for a small cobra. Exhale, tap the floor with your nose as you push back through a tabletop. Tuck toes, you're back in downward facing dog. Raising your right leg, lifting that leg high, flexing that right foot. Lift, lift, lift. And really encourage that left heel down. So you're hopefully feeling a nice stretch along the back of this left leg there. Lift, lift, lift. And then drawing your knee to your nose, right knee to your nose. Place the foot on the floor in between your hands. Lowering the left heel, rise up. Warrior one, Virabhadrasana one. So you've got a deep lunge in this right knee. Hips are working towards being square towards the short edge of your mat. Arms run alongside your ears. Pressing down on the outside edge of that left foot, breathing. Big inhale. Exhale, opening out into warrior two. And adjusting your feet if you need to, pulling this left hip open, but make sure this right knee doesn't come along with it. Keep it stacked over your ankle, equal energy through all 10 fingers. It's very common to have a bit of a forward motion here in our warrior two. So just try and notice where your shoulders are in relation to your hips and try and stack them. And then reach those left fingers back. Your gaze point, your drishti, is your right middle finger, unless that doesn't feel good on the neck, in which case look forwards. Interlacing your fingers together behind your back for a humble warrior. On an inhale, draw the knuckles towards the floor behind you as you lift the heart. Exhale, hinge forwards on the inside of this right leg, lifting your knuckles up and over the top of your head. Keep pressing down on the outside edge of that left foot. And on your next inhale, imagine someone's pulling you up by your fingers all the way back up into your warrior two to release your interlace. Warrior two, Virabhadrasana two. Nice. So from here, straightening your right leg, Uttita Trikonasana, reach these right fingers as far as you can, directly over this right leg. And look where you're going as you hinge all the way over this leg, reaching those left fingers towards the ceiling. Now this right hand can come anywhere on the inside of this right leg. I like to take the back of my hand somewhere on the inside and gently press against it. And that helps to stack the left shoulder on top and then reach those left fingers towards the ceiling. If you want to use a block, which I do recommend, take it to the outside of this right foot as opposed to the inside. Take it to the outside. And focus on this left finger reaching rather than how close to the ground you get. Again, really just an indication of how long your arms are. Reach, reach, reach. Then bringing this top hand down, grabbing a hold of your right wrist. On an inhale, bring the torso up, bring the arm up, sky archer. Essentially reversing your triangle. Option here to flex that right foot if you want it. If that makes you wobble, then just keep the foot down. Sending your breath into that right rib cage. Big inhale. Exhale back into warrior two. So we're going to transition from here into our warrior three. This left arm is going to come over the top. And as it's doing that, square the hips towards the front of the mat. Bring your palms together, gaze down. Start to shift your weight forwards into this right leg as you launch into your warrior three. If you don't have the space, reach your arms anywhere alongside your body. You can hold onto blocks, you can hold onto the floor. If you have the space, which I don't, you can reach your arms out in front of you. Wherever you're working to, try and have the hips square. Try and have your left foot flexed, left toes and left knee pointing towards the floor. Lifting up out of this right supporting hip. Try breathing, deep, deliberate, considered breaths. Really lovely. So working towards having this leg in one line with your torso. So again, not worrying about how high the leg is. It can, as long as it's one line, that's really kind of what we're aiming for. So landing the foot with control. You're in a high crescent lunge. You're on the ball of that left foot. Reach your arms up alongside your ears. Big inhale. Exhale, hinge forwards to frame your right foot with your hands. Step your right foot back to meet the left. You're in a plank pose. Big inhale here. Exhale, lowering. Now, if you want to, Chaturanga Dandasana, rolling the shoulders beyond your fingertips and lowering down through the down part of a press up. On an inhale, lift into up dog. Only points of contact with the floor, your hands and your feet, as you shine the heart forwards. If you would prefer not to do that, from your plank pose, lower the knees, keep the back flat, lower your chest and your chin, slither the heart forwards for a small cobra. And then from here, whether you're in an up dog or a small cobra, we'll all meet back together in downward facing dog. To raise the left leg. Again, flexing that left foot, encouraging the right heel down. Really feeling this nice stretch down the back of that right leg. Strong in your hands, shoulders softening away from the ears. Bending the knee and placing the foot on the floor in between your hands. Rise up on the inhale, warrior one, Virabhadrasana one. Breathe. So imagine you're trying to pull your feet together. There's a very central energy here. And again, it's up to you whether you press your palms together or you keep your arms shoulder width distance apart. Big inhale. Exhale, opening out into warrior two. So again, adjusting your feet if you need to. Equal energy through all 10 fingers. Continually trying to pull the feet together, tucking the pelvis under. Interlacing your fingers together behind your back. And this time, if you want to, maybe taking the non-dominant hand on top, the way that feels different or odd. Squeeze the shoulder blades together as if you're trying to crack a walnut in between your shoulder blades. On an inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, bow down, humble warrior. The inside of this left leg, lifting your knuckles up and over the top of your head. Lift, lift, lift. Keep pressing down on the outside edge of that right foot. And then imagine someone's pulling you up by your hands. Use the strength of that left leg. Use your inhale. You're back in warrior two. Triangle pose, Utthita Trikonasana, straightening that left leg. And again, look where you're going as the hips will pull back slightly, reach those left fingers forwards, and then hinge directly over that leg, reaching those right fingers for the ceiling. And try and touch the ceiling more than you're trying to touch the floor. That's far more interesting. Breathe. And choose a hand to look at, whichever one brings the least amount of strain to your neck. Again, option to use a block here on the outside of your left leg if you want to. Sky Archer. So bringing this right hand down, grab a hold of your left wrist. On an inhale, lift the arm, lift the torso. Reverse your triangle. Again, option if you want to flex your left foot, you can. Sending your breath into this left rib cage, finding that expansion here. Use the right arm to pull the left. Big inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Nice. And so from our warrior two here, we're going to transition back into our warrior three. This time, however, I'm going to scooch myself a little bit further back so I've got some more space over here. So from your warrior two, bringing this right arm up and over as you square the hips, placing your palms together, maybe interlace fingers, pointing index fingers towards the top of the mat as you slowly lift that right leg. So again, flexing that right foot, hips are square, right knees and right toes are pointing towards the floor, all of your right knees. And again, arms maybe alongside your ears, maybe out to the side, airplane arms, alongside your body, on hips. Hold on to a wall, hold on to the floor, hold on to blocks, whatever you want to do. Honestly, there's no such thing as cheating in yoga. It's not a thing. Breathe. Keep lifting up out of that left supporting hip. Drawing in your abdominals. And if you're wobbling, embrace it. Just come back to it. Everything's fine. So landing this right foot with, not on a dog. Hi, Bastian. You're in a high crescent lunge. Big inhale. Exhale, hinge forwards, framing your left foot. Step the left foot back to meet the right. You're back in your plank pose. And then again, you've got your choices here. So lowering yourself down, either knees, chest, chin, or if you prefer, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale for either small cobra or upward facing dog. Either way, make it proud. Shoulders down, chest open, maybe lift gaze. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then softening your knees and just walk the bottom to the floor. Coming back into a comfortable seated position, wherever that exists for you. Resting your hands on your knees, stacking your shoulders over your hips. Just breathing. And just paying attention to how you feel. Noticing. You okay there, Bastian? Okay. Paying attention to how you feel. And feeling the shift of energy, noticing if there's any difference between now and just when we began. Noticing if there isn't much difference. Just paying attention to your experience, knowing that it's valid, whatever it is. Perhaps feeling that little buzz, that energy, that openness, that strength that you've built. Just taking a moment of gratitude for yourself for making this awesome decision to do something for yourself today. And thank you from me for being here. And if you have any thoughts, questions, comments, let me know. And I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Thank you from me and from Bastian. Bye.